Up next, he is a immortal cannabis wizard who's seen it all, and it's the reason he's never scared to call out the oligarchical system and systemic injustices that have harmed us all. With over 3 decades of an industry experience behind him, he's now co-host of the What's Good podcast, and tuning in from an unknown dimension, you know who it is, Mathieu St. Germain.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Oh, there we go. That's so much better. Thanks, all. Thanks, Rico. Happy Friday. I've got a great story. I think it comes out of High Times, and it's that there's a new bill being introduced that would target inflated THC levels and price gouging. There's been enormous pressure to inflate THC levels. This has fallen upon cultivators, manufacturers, and labs. And when THC levels are inflated, it would create unrealistic expectations for higher numbers, and it erodes trust in the integrity of the industry. One California lawmaker has a solution. On March 15th, Assemblyman Reggie Jones Sawyer, a Democrat, introduced Assembly Bill 1610 in California, which he calls Weed Out the Weed Bill. This will create greater transparency in cannabis testing and hopefully help eliminate fraud in the legal markets. He says, as consumers, we all want to know what we purchase is safe, legal, and tested. That is why I introduced AB 1610. As the cannabis industry continues to grow in California, my bill will help protect consumers and maintain high-quality cannabis products. The testing company SE Labs is sponsoring AB 1610 because it would improve transparency in the market by allowing or requiring in-person lab audits, randomized product shelf testing to ensure cannabis labels are accurate, and blind proficiency testing of labs. SC Labs is supporting this bill because without greater engagement from the state, there is no way to hold bad actors accountable, says SC Labs Chief Compliance Officer Josh Wertzer. Under the current system, bad actor labs and brands profit over companies that are working hard to follow the rules. Wertzer continued, we want the legalized market to thrive as it's come under a lot of pressure recently from reduced prices and the persistence of illicit markets. Greater trust and transparency in legalized products will boost consumer confidence, ensure public safety, and strengthen the legal markets. The proposed reforms in the bill are common sense measures, Wertzer says, that will strengthen existing laws and give regulators the tools they need to stamp out fraud. These include requiring blind proficiency testing so that labs are tested on their accuracy within their normal course of business, requiring all past recalls to be publicly shared online for consumers to access easily, requiring in-person annual audits of laboratories. That this is something other states do that California has not yet done, allowing for the randomized testing of products available for retail sale to identify inconsistencies in testing. Prices for legal lane flower are determined by THC content. Companies lab shop to get the highest THC level possible. What's really happening is consumers are getting gouged for prices when they think they're getting a higher amount of THC than what is really in their product. Just how rampant is this? A few labs that were fed up with rampant potency inflation and they recently set out to determine how bad the issue was. Their sampling of over 150 randomly chosen flower products by several lab leaders found that 87% of the products illegally overstated their THC content, and several also contained harmful levels of pesticides. Furthermore, now this is where it gets crazy. Over half of the samples were over 20% deviant of their labeled THC values, which is only twice over the legal permitted variance. California's state threshold for variance in THC reporting from what you get from the lab is plus or minus 10%. But companies often illegally surpass that margin of error. At least 5 class action lawsuits have been filed in recent months by consumers claiming damages for paying for artificially high THC levels. Some major and recognizable cannabis brands were called out. Some people are essentially getting less THC than what's on the label. And when that happens, trust will fall apart. This is Mathieu St. Germain stumbling through operating my mouth for the Iodine News on Friday. I have quite a bit to add to this, and I hope you all too. So I'm going to give the floor to you first, folks.